Hey, it's Deborah Poneman, founder of Yes to Success Seminars, where we share knowledge and tools for you to live your ultimate life. Yes, I have a new cool background, and my friend Lisa Coleman made this. And I don't have my green screen, so you will see my hands disappearing, but I still like it. Anyway, before COVID put a temporary halt to live events, I would look forward every year to attending a gala put on by the Unstoppable Foundation, a nonprofit that builds schools and provides education and clean water to children in Africa. Every year, the Unstoppable program is filled with celebrity speakers, big names like Nelly Furtado and NFL Hall of Famer Warren Moon and Maggie Q, even the iconic Paula Abdul. But no one has ever inspired me like a young girl from Kenya who flew in to share her story at the gala in 2016. Her name was Susan, and her life was typical of girls in her community, fetching water and helping her mother cook and care for her younger brothers and sisters until she was a young teen, at which time she'd then be married off and begin having babies of her own. Susan's impoverished village had no school. In fact, the closest school was almost 8 miles away, and there were no cars in her part of Africa. So very few young people went to school in her region, especially if you were a girl. Only through sheer determination was Susan able to complete primary school and graduate at the top of her class. She had worked incredibly hard, as her dream was to qualify to fill one of only 40 positions available for girls out of the almost 1,000 who applied to the secondary school for girls, the only one in the entire region. Well, the day came that the list arrived of the 40 girls who were chosen to fill the spots, and Susan's name was not on the list. Her teachers were as brokenhearted as she was, but there was nothing they could do about it, or so they thought. Susan was not taking no for an answer. She wanted to know why she had not been chosen. So on the day that school began, she walked for miles to the private school where the 40 girls who were chosen were lined up in their crisp new uniforms, ready to walk into the school building and begin their year. Susan marched right up to the headmistress and in front of all the other girls demanded to know why she had not been chosen. The headmistress said she was so sorry, but there were only 40 spots because they only had 40 beds and 40 desks and 40 sets of books. And Susan was number 41. There was just no money for even one more girl, and there was nothing the headmistress could do. As Susan begged and held back her tears and said there must be something that could be done, the other girls also began begging the headmistress to let Susan in, saying they would share their books and push their beds together and make room for her. They offered to share their uniforms and give Susan their desk, and they would sit on the floor if they would only please let her in. Well, you could probably figure out the rest of the story, since Susan was flown in from Kenya for the gala to thank the donors for supporting the school, as she had just graduated number one in her class and was on her way to nursing school. What struck me most about this story was how fearless this young girl was. She didn't care if the other girls laughed at her. She didn't care if the headmistress reprimanded her and sent her home. She knew what she wanted, and she was determined to make her vision come true. How many times have you let fear stop you? How many times have you backed off and shrunk with the first no? And worse yet, how many times have you let other people's opinions or what you think they're going to think about you cause you to let go of your dreams? Would you have had the courage to do what Susan did, or would you have just accepted your fate? Fear will always be there, no matter how successful you become. Success doesn't mean you'll never be afraid. It simply means that if you really want to have a life you love, a life filled with true success, you can't let fear stop you. So I invite you to notice what you do when you're faced with fear. I do a lot of things. I'll share with you. I feel where the fear is in my body, and I breathe into it. and I thank it. And then I ask it what it's there to teach me. I also ask myself how I can turn the situation around so that it becomes better than I can even imagine. But most of all, I think of Susan and ask, what would Susan do? And then I move courageously forward, knowing that everything I want, every dream I hold is waiting for me on the other side of my fear. And I'll end with the quote for you from Mandy Hale, who is the author of Single is the New Fabulous, who said this: it's okay to be scared. Being scared just means you're about to do something really, really brave. Good luck to you.